2026 are Mayor C. Holland Purdue III and Vice Mayor Benjamin K. Mullins. Council members A. Ralph Casey, David K. Clements, J. Tyler Lee, Mark H. Newbill, and Lucas A. Tuning. Also participating this evening are staff members as noted.
Please stand and do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next, we have the agenda in front of you for this evening's meeting. We'll need an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda is approved. Next, we have the consent agenda in front of you. If you would take a look at that. No issues. Ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
The only one would be for discussion is Kimberly Coleman. She is aware, I would imagine, that she has to take her test within, is it 6 months or a year?
Should be made aware of that. Yeah. Do you want to just pull it off the consent agenda?
I was just asking
Okay.
about, just
Yeah.
making sure.
Yeah.
I know that's been a concern in the past for some folks, so just a question.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The consent agenda is approved. We've got two special items this evening. I'm going to go over here first. And Tommy, you want to come on up here real quick for me? All right. How you doing? Good. I'm going to read this, okay? This is the resolution of the Town of Rocky Mount recognizing the 60th anniversary of the Callaway Volunteer Fire Department. Whereas the Callaway Volunteer Fire Department was established in 1966 by dedicated citizens committed to protecting the lives, homes, farms, and businesses of the Callaway community and surrounding areas. And whereas for 60 years the members of the Callaway Volunteer Fire Department have faithfully served the residents of Franklin County through emergency response, fire suppression, rescue operations, disaster assistance, public safety education, and countless hours of volunteer service. And whereas generations of volunteer firefighters, officers, auxiliary members, and supporters have answered the call at all hours of the day and night, often placing themselves in harm's way for the safety and well-being of others. And whereas the department has continually demonstrated professionalism, courage, and dedication while adapting to the changing needs of the community through training, modernization, and mutual aid cooperation with neighboring fire and emergency service agencies. And whereas the Callaway Volunteer Fire Department has played a vital role not only in emergency response, but also in strengthening the spirit of the community through civic involvement, public events, outreach programs, and support for local families during times of crisis. And whereas the Town of Rocky Mount recognizes the immeasurable contributions and sacrifices made by the volunteers and their families who have sustained this proud organization for 6 decades. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of Rocky Mount formally extends a gracious thank you to all the members of the Callaway Fire Department for their 6 decades of service to the region, and do hereby proclaim 2026 as a year of recognition and celebration honoring the 60th anniversary of the Callaway Volunteer Fire Department, and encourage all citizens to join in expressing their sincere gratitude and appreciation for its outstanding service to the community. Given this under my hand this 8th day of June 2026.
We really appreciate it. Callaway is a great community. We're proud to serve the community of Callaway. And the town of Rocky Mount, I know you don't really affect us directly, but you do indirectly through Chief Woodrow and his department. They come and help us a lot on second, third do fire. So we really appreciate the support you give them so they can give us. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have anybody here from Woodland Life? Do we have anybody else here from Woodman Life this evening? All right, I haven't seen Lisa, so, all right, we're gonna pass on that. I haven't heard from Lisa today. I don't know what's going on there, so we'll just pull that off. All right, next, we have a public hearing this evening on the debt issuance. Mr. Wood, if you wanna start us with that.
Okay. Council, Mr. Rose is here. He was here about, I guess it was 2 meetings ago, to talk about what they were proposing and recommending to refund some of our existing debt and also some new debt. And so he's here tonight to present kind of what's happened since then and some of the bids that they received, and we'll let you take it from there, David. I'll pass those out if you want.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Again, David Rose from Davenport. I was here 2 meetings ago. Now it's real summertime, and so feels good. Again, I've got some good news tonight, and I hope you will also agree on this. But as this town manager indicated, if you just turn to page 1, we've been working with you as your financial advisor. That's your fiduciary. And thanks to your excellent staff, we've been able to put together a presentation that we've talked about at length and want to give you the results of that ability that you gave us a couple meetings ago to talk to banks and brokerages. So the essence of all this is twofold. Number one is to strategically take out some of the outstanding ban from 2024 that's tied to the fire trucks that are out there, as well as to do some new money financing that you'll see in a moment for both the utility and the general fund. So if you would, on page 2, you'll see here that we are talking about combination of taking out the ban permanently, as well as doing certain financing for these various projects. I would point out certain of those projects, as you could see there, are roughly 10 years in length. That's because their useful life is roughly about 10 years, maybe a little longer, as well as some of the others are 20 years, because again, by nature, they will last longer, such a roof, things of that nature should last a solid 20 years. Now, just to make sure everyone realizes, the reason we do this, the reason we borrow this money strategically, because you also pay cash for certain things that you do, is because, again, fairness, those that are going to use it, those who are going to benefit by it over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, then again, part of your budget pay for that. So that's how we look at this. And I would say then, we may look at this, but the real question is, how do others look at this? How do banks and brokerages look at this? Do they think our plan, working with your staff, makes sense? And the important thing is on page 3, when you gave us that ability to move forward and to survey the marketplace, what we actually found was we received 6 different bids. And if you look at, in a moment or two, those various banks and brokerages that responded, they did that because they feel very comfortable that this town not only pays its bills, but is structurally balanced and also has ample reserves so that if there is a downturn, and I've been doing this now for about 43, 44 years, inevitably there'll be another downturn. And we want to make sure that we have money in the bank, which I like to say cash is king. And the other thing about that is the money that sits in the bank actually earns a very strong interest rate. So the money that's sitting in the bank, for example, is earning around 4%. That money goes back into the general fund, and that helps keep pressure down on the general fund. So again, what we try to do in advising you is to do a combination of debt and cash flow, and that's sort of what we have here, and that's why I believe the banks really liked the way in which you're thinking about this. So, page 4, I want to just show you something that's a little geeky, and that is what we call a 20 bond index. What's that mean? That means the tax-exempt world, the world that you borrow in. When you and I borrow in the world of, let's say, a mortgage, we're in the world of the taxable world. That was the world that we were in, and I was asked about with regard to that economic development, the purchase of roughly the 64, 65 acres that we recommended, borrowing money. We're not refinancing that right now. We still don't recommend that because those interest rates are not nearly as strong as the world of tax-exempt interest rates. And these tax-exempt interest rates right now, with the exception of that couple years or almost couple years during COVID, which was very much atypical, we're hovering around 40, 50-year lows in permanent borrowing. So we like that, and you're going to see why we like it, especially in a moment or two. So with that said, on page 5, you can see the various banking institutions that gave us bids. We certainly have that. It's publicly available. But the winning bid we're going to recommend is Carter Bank and Trust. As you know, they're located literally right down the road. I remember Mr. Carter very, very well. Of course, no longer with us, but it's an excellent bank. And for a number of years, they were not in the marketplace of doing these kinds of loans. You are literally the first institution, I will call it, that they have come back into and doing long-term borrowing. And I think that's a great compliment to all of you up there and to the citizens, because Carter Bank and Trust is nothing if not conservative, and I say in a good way, being conservative. They are not going to make a loan, neither is anyone else, but they're not going to make a loan if they're worried at all that y'all are not going to pay them back. And so that said, what they have given us is an interest rate of 4.29% locked in. But the most important thing, or the other important thing, is that they're allowing us to prepay this without penalty, whole or in part, at any time. So what we're getting here is real flexibility. And I've been in that mode where we have a Carter Bank loan, and then 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, we say to them, we'd like to look at refinancing. Rates have come down. And typically, they're either there to do that, or other banks step up, or maybe even VRA could step up. But the point is, this is real flexibility. So how do we compare that? Page 6, and I'm almost done. VRA has said to us right now, if we were to go to the marketplace, that'd be a little less than 40 basis points better. However, we can't lock in a rate until July 21st. The world's pretty unsteady right now. For us to wait basically 6-7 weeks, not know what it's going to look like, but right now we're at about 40 basis points, even less. That's not enough for us to recommend waiting. And the other reason for that is that if we go to VRA, they have what's called a standard lockout, a call provision that's 10 years. Under today's laws, we cannot prepay that without penalty, and we've got to do it on a taxable basis if we want to prepay it earlier than 10 years. From my experience, and I know Vincent and I have worked together for years, I've now worked with Mark and especially with Robert for the last few years, that's a big flexibility. That's worth a lot. It's not just worth 20, 30 basis points, which could change in the course of a couple days, but that's real flexibility. So we're recommending, Mayor and members of council, that you move forward with Carter Bank and Trust, because also it's lower than our planning rate, which was 5% fixed. So this is considerably lower, but the call provision is really what sold us, and we've worked with them over the years. So with all of that being said, basically page 7, I've really said all that. I don't need to repeat it unless you want me to, but really page 8 is the schedule. And where we are then is today is the 8th. We have a public hearing which is tied to the new money. It's not a public hearing tied to the takeout of the existing ban. It's just tied into new money. That's a Virginia law required. And so that's why the public hearing is here tonight. We have a resolution. Mr. Benjamin is here representing Sands Anderson, which is your bond counsel. And what they do is they make sure that all the things I'm telling you, you know, the old Ronald Reagan, trust but verify, he does that. That's what he does. He signs off on those things with his documents saying the things we're talking about, the things Carter Bank is talking about is indeed bankable, no pun intended. So with that said, I'm happy to answer any questions, but hopefully you'll agree with us and our staff, your staff, I should say, that we think this is really a very compelling result, and we'd like to move forward.
Thank you, David. Any questions from council? Mr. Rose? No questions? We have no one signed up to speak this evening at the public hearing, so if there are no questions of council, you need to adopt the resolution.
Yes, sir, and I think it's a voice individual. You've got copies of it.
We've got it
Steve
here.
does, so, okay. And just for your benefit, Sands Anderson, which Steve represents, has been working with y'all and ourselves for a long, long time, and I've known his senior partner for over 40 years. So, again, we've all been a part of that discussion, so I want to make sure that's clear.
And council, it's the same one that was in the packet, so
Oh, okay.
it's the same information that was in the packet.
We'll need a roll call vote if we find a motion on this.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All right, Rebecca, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Sure, Mr. Mayor. Vice Mayor Benjamin K. Mullins,
Yes.
Councilmember A. Ralph Casey, Councilmember David K. Clements,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucas A. Tuning,
Yes.
Councilmember Mark H. Newbill,
Yes.
Councilmember J. Tyler Lee,
Yes.
Mayor C. Holland Purdue III.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, you have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, members of council. Appreciate all your help, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have no one signed up to speak tonight on behalf of the citizens, so with that, we will be at the adjournment portion of the agenda.
So moved.
Have a motion,
Second.
second, any discussion? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I thought you was gonna hit the hammer.
Good plan, boss.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You answer all the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was a good plan. Thank you. Good work.
That's a billable hour for him.
Good to see you. Want me to